Yeah, it looks like my streamer disconnected for some reason, so I don't have any insight as to that whatsoever. My kilobytes look fine now. YouTube says I'm live, so I guess I'll keep on with the program. But Carvana actually not looking too bad here. I'll add this to my list. What's today? 3.5. I didn't really add anything. Well, I guess I added a few to my list here. Not quite sure if I'm ready to invest in Carvana here, but I do like this volume signature. The pullback very low, a very low volume. And it's, I mean, so far working out pretty good. It's very early in the day. Volume 92,000, so it's hard to say exactly what's doing. But the Nasdaq so far looks like it's positive. And there's Carvana getting on with some program. Very nice pop up this morning. Probably find some resistance here at this little high, 44 and a quarter, 44.4. Tesla selling off hard. Oh yeah, yeah. I looked at that yesterday during the live stream here, and noted we poked our head above and then came lower. Um, Good volume yesterday too. That's a little disconcerting. Maybe we'll come back and retest 250. What's up, Nick? Yeah, maybe we'll end up testing 250. Who knows? That's been a large area of support. There's not much else down here. Pretty much 250 is the only thing left after this. If we break 250 with any gusto, I don't know if Tesla's. That's not going to be a very healthy proposition for Tesla technically. Not really what you want to see in a potential leading stock. So give it some leeway down to 250 if you're longer term on Tesla, which I think most people are. This isn't one you tend to trade for just pops of profit, but yeah, not having a good day today. They had sales announcements, didn't they? I meant to look it up, but I never did. China customer says Tesla Model 3 cars will not be allowed to be sold or used, says they're improperly labeled. What? So put a new sticker on the car. That's why they're selling off. China car could rival Tesla? Maybe. Maybe pressures from that 35,000 model coming into play as well. Gross margins will now be appreciably lower. Is that the right way to say that word? Gross margins will now be appreciably lower, and thus a significant amount of additional volume is needed to offset price cuts, even considering the cost saves. So here's kind of the bad thing about Elon Musk is that everyone knows his mission isn't to be the world's richest man. His mission is to save Earth. Whether that's still the case or not, I'd like to think that, but that could not bode well for his stock if he's doing things in a cutthroat pace just to get scale to save our planet. So we'll see there. Barclays on Tesla sooner than expected. Sooner than expected, 35,000. Rather than reflecting dynamic progress on manufacturing and distribution costs, likely reflects the need to replenish cash. Okay, so we'll see. For technicians, 250 is our level here. It's been pretty choppy. We tested this 250 level a few times and it's held. And like I said, we'll see how that ends up playing out. Get back to the Grub debacle. Yesterday, Grub took a beating, although it was within a channel line. I had to figure out what was going on yesterday. So I found a channel line, and we'll see if Grub can get some momentum today. Get back on with the program. ZTO, one that actually had a great day yesterday, pulling in today. ZTO had like an 8% day yesterday. It was phenomenal. And huge move up. Little pullback today. Nothing to be too concerned about. Still don't have all my good stocks highlighted here. FXI, which is an oil play, has a nice little Nice little pattern here. You can see the little pausing. Could be good. Let's see what Carvana is doing. Carvana looking good. Okay, so it did break that resistance, so that's healthy. Although we kind of sold off into it. We'll see how that plays itself out. Carvana looking fairly interesting if the volume signature can be good today. We're not seeing... I don't see a tremendous amount of volume jumping in here, but that could be good, meaning it doesn't sell off. Okay, let's start for the top down again. Carvana looking good there. XON had a huge down day yesterday. Or a couple days in a row, actually. ACB's been pretty good. They sold some stuff off to Cron, apparently. And price action is pretty good. Prices... Go away, Siri. Go away, Siri. ACB broke the 50 here. Looks like we're consolidating above the 200-day moving average. Maybe trying to get going. I'm not sure if yesterday is the day to do that, but you can see the nice reversal yesterday. Look at the end of the day there. Is that the end of the day or the beginning of the day today? Oh, that's the beginning of the day today. Okay, that's this morning. Pretty big volumes right there on ACB. So maybe that'll jumpstart something. A little gap this morning. Maybe some backfilling, then off to the races. Okay, initiated with outperform at an analyst firm. That's the reason why for the jump today. XON. SoFun. We talked about them yesterday, and they didn't do a whole lot yesterday. Looks like they're getting on with the program today. Let's see if that can continue. There's a little trend line here, as you can see. So we had a higher low. Now we're trying to break through this whole little basing stage right here. Looks like that ends at 167, which we just jumped up to. This could be an interesting opportunity. If we can break through that, that could be pretty good. Maybe take us up to a whopping $2. Yeah, this one would be a little difficult to get on the options market. Just too low priced. NIO, a recent IPO consolidating. We broke over this trend line here. We talked about that a few days ago. Currently, it is consolidating in a pretty nice fashion. You see yesterday with the albeit elevated volume outside day, but we closed in the top part of the range, about 50% of the range. Earnings are today before market. So did we have earnings on NIO or not? Doesn't look like it so far. Trying to end local subsidies for NEV purchases, Straddle. Nothing wrong with the chart. I don't know if earnings, they say they were supposed to be out today. I don't really see it. They say conference call is in the afternoon today, at about just after market close, it looks like. So it doesn't look like we've necessarily had earnings at NIO, but overall this is a bullish chart pattern. If you want to play it, please understand your risk in that. But NIO is pretty interesting here, and here's your IPO base at 1380. So that would technically be your buy point, but I think it could have been buyable right down here off of this trend line break. And earnings always makes it tricky, so you're going to have to deal with that. All right, Huya. After earnings. Cool, earnings were yesterday. Holding tight in the flag, wait for that thing to break out before getting involved. They're not really getting. AMRN getting on with the program, moving up here towards highs after earnings. So if this thing pops out from this 23 level, this could be a pretty good chart. Pretty good opportunity in AMRN. I forget what they do. Are they 5G? Aren't they a little 5G play? I think they're a little 5G play. I have no water. No, they are drugs. treatment of cardiovascular disease within the field of lipid science. So they are a drug maker with a very bullish chart pattern and maybe about to break over that elusive $25 level. We'll have to wait and see. They're on AMRN, but yeah, it looks like they're being accumulated for something. NASDAQ turning lower here in negative territory currently. Got a position in Grub I need to manage. Looks like nothing crazy going on with Grub here. All right, Stitch Fix. Let's keep going down the top of the list here. Where's Urban Outfitters? So Urban Outfitters, interesting. It's been in a longer downtrend for quite a while. Looks like it has earnings coming up today after market. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe an opportunity there. There's Grub, Kiwi, Huya again, AMRN again, AMC. Pulling back after earnings, kind of working on that gap a little bit. We came out and came back in. That's a little bit bullish. Testing that low again here this morning. IAC looks like a pretty nice little cup with handle. They poked into new highs, but ever so slightly. So there's a decent possibility here. And this is after earnings too, so this is actually pretty nice. So you got a couple things going on here. Cup with handle. So there's the top of your handle. Lower volume on the right side, which is good. Kind of running up into the top of the handle. Pulling down here currently. So that would officially be your trend line. If you wanted to draw a little more of an aggressive trend line, you could. You can do whatever you want to do. That would be a little more of an aggressive trend line in this stage for IAC. Okay, so interesting little rounding curvature to the pattern there, supported at the 200-day moving average all throughout the bear market. So that's pretty good. Low volume selling, although looks like the buyers have just kind of dried up here, and they'll probably start popping in higher. Maybe look for a pocket pivot to get involved, if it can have one without breaking the chart pattern out. If you guys remember, a pocket pivot is a green day. Here's a pocket pivot with volume higher than any previous 9 down days, or 9 days including the down days. So in other words, if you had on the 8th day here a big green candle, and on the 11th day here a larger red candle, it would be a pocket pivot, because you're only really counting out of the previous 9 candles, you're looking for the biggest red candle, and you're comparing this against that. So this would be a pocket pivot, and you can see here it didn't immediately start a run. We had a little pullback, but we ended up having a nice big run, and those pocket pivots can be very good early signs. And when you go into a lower volume area, this isn't extreme low volume, but it is lower volume. So if we can get a nice green candle, that could be give you an opportunity to signal, watch this thing for an impending breakout. It could even break out on the pocket pivot day. It just is what it is on that one. NVGS, look at that nice little tight bull flag pattern. That's pretty nice. Yesterday with a pocket pivot, as a matter of fact, I believe. 82,145, 79,933. So yeah, this would be considered a pocket pivot. Not a huge one. You out of here, Bugs? Bugs. You use your thing sign? Can you kiss? Love you. Have a great day. Bye, Daddy. Bye, Mommy. Bye. So NVGS yesterday with a little pocket pivot. If it can get over this, what is it, 1110 level? Yep, that 1110 level. 11.9 there. 11.9 in a couple of spots. So if we can get to 1110, that would be a buy point for NVGS. Hi, James. You sad your family's leaving? I know. So there's a small flag above the small flag pattern with a gap up. So small flag with a gap up right there, being supported at pretty much everything. NVGS looking pretty good here right now. Booking.com. Booking.yeah. James, what are you doing? You okay? You're making weird sounds. O'Reilly pulling back in a nice little consolidation. So currently, trying to get up here and testing this trend line. We don't have massive volume at the lows here. So we'll see how that gets supported. Looks like it's cut through a few moving averages. 50 days coming up. And we'll see if it'll get through that. The market is a little top heavy at the moment. So I would definitely look for pretty clear volume signatures in these stocks that you're looking to get these bounces out of. You need some pretty clear volume so the market doesn't kind of take you lower. Future Fuel, PKG, EC. EC's looking okay. Grifols. Starbucks looks very good. Looks like we've pulled out of a little drought we were in a couple days ago. That's a 20-day moving average, so we're getting support there. And potentially breaking out over this 72 level could continue the little mini rally that it's been in. We'll see if the market will allow it to do so. Then we're getting down in here to some other stocks. So Shen up here, 0.8. Oop, Kron, Shen. Stitch Fix. Probably going to have to run a little early today due to the bullish stuff in crypto. I'm going to have a ton of charts to go through, so I'm probably going to bail. Yeah, we're consolidating a little bit here. We've actually been consolidating since this day right here, which was last Monday or Friday or something. Thursday. Yeah, last Monday. So we popped higher there, and then we started consolidating, put in a higher low, another higher high, another higher low. So we're still grinding higher, but it does feel like a better consolidation. This candle here, that they stopped selling it at the 200-day moving average. Hopefully that'll be the trend continuing. But you can see we're actually, the 200's rising. So we'll see if that makes us flatten out and go lower or whatnot. So like I said earlier, I think if you're taking any positions at this point of the game, you either have a really good earnings strategy that you can work on, or you're looking for something that is extremely good volume signatures that gives you kind of an expectation that they are accumulating a position and will run it regardless of what the market does. Been in queue for some weeks now. Would you just look at price action to consider taking profits, or do you have hard levels? No, I usually look at price action. So look, that's a good question. Let's look at that for a second, because we've come up to a resistance point. I've thought about taking profits. I haven't though. Typically, you know what? Let's actually do this on a weekly chart. And I don't know if it's probably not even going to be my weekly chart. Oh, it is my weekly chart. So here's the weekly chart. So we're actually kind of on this is the NASDAQ. Actually, it's almost a head and shoulders pattern, huh? With a very weird neckline. But according to Bulkowski, stuff like this ends up working out better. But that's a pretty extreme drop. Your neckline drops way down here. So I've thought about taking profits up here. Haven't made the decision yet. There hasn't been anything super bearish. So I haven't really felt compelled to take profits. The market in terms of distribution day counts are very light. And so I really kind of time my market tops by distribution day counts a majority of the time. Now, there are certain circumstances where price action can lead distribution day counts. So let's go back to the daily charts. What I mean by that is this. Let me go back to daily. So distribution day, 2 years should suffice. Okay, so let's just look at distribution days here. So yesterday was a pretty clear distribution day. I think everybody agrees with that. Oh, I can't just used to trading view charts where I can just, mess with stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna throw a few arrows on the chart here. So here's a clear distribution day right there. Yesterday was um, elevated volume. We actually didn't even drop that much. I'm not even sure if that qualified as a distribution day. I may defer to Investors Business Daily on that one. That may not have even qualified. Let's look. So they have 4 distribution days on the S&P and 3 on the NASDAQ. What? Okay, a mild distribution day. The Nasdaq's 0.2% drop in higher volume gave the composite a mild distribution day. It's the third in the past several weeks. So they did consider it a distribution day. A distribution day is a day of distribution day is a day of elevated institutional selling or stalling. Stalling could be considered a distribution day as well. So you're looking for elevated. So let's put this on the follow through day, which this was our follow through day. Right there. So we'll color this one green. That's our follow through day / go signal right there. And also looks like that also overcut the 200-day moving or 50-day moving average. And you end up with a distribution day right here. Actually, I don't know if that was a distribution day because this is the futures. So I think that was a distribution day. That was a distribution day. So in every uptrend, you're going to have distribution days. And this is really how I like to view uptrends and downtrends. It takes a lot of bias and a lot of that should be a distribution day. So that goes back 47 days. So that they have it as 3 distribution days. So one of these, because again, this is futures. One of these they did not consider could be this one. This one maybe ended up on lower volume because this is futures. This ends up being a little bit different. So anyway, the main point is that we're a little light on distribution days. I think we ended up peaking recently in the 8 or 9 count. We're on 4 on the S&P and 3 on the NASDAQ. So I'm not super mad at it. Again, we still have higher lows as well and higher highs. There's a clear uptrend in place here. I don't want to let any emotions take me out of a longer term position. I really want to let my indicators do that for me. And though we are coming up to a resistance level there in red, doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna crater into the floor. I probably am willing to hold through a pullback of sorts. I don't have a clear level in mind personally. I'm just kind of letting the market action take me where it goes at this point. So we can have, I think we can pull down to here's, maybe around 7,000, maybe a little less, 69, 7,000. As long as the distribution day count doesn't get elevated very quickly, I will probably maintain that position. If we see a series of distribution days at the top, that will probably take me out of many positions. So here's here's several distribution days concurrently. There's 3 right there. 3 distribution days in a row. You get distribution day here, distribution day here, a distribution day here. So you can see there's within a period of a couple of months, you've got like 6 or 7 or 8 distribution days. Then you start having one there, and then I think that is where they actually called a correction in the market. It was like the 9th distribution day, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have a stalling day up here, kind of doesn't have elevated volume. That could be considered a stalling day. So that's a distribution stalling day. So distribution there, distribution there. So there's 4 right there within like a 1.5 week period. That shows extreme selling. And then we have a low volume run up. And then we start selling off again once we get back towards the highs. So we have a distribution day there, and then we have another distribution day and another. So 3 out of 4 distribution days there, like 4 out of 6 distribution days there. It got very heavy very quick, and that's really what leads you into a bear market or even a correction, is a series of larger distribution days. But we don't necessarily have that up here. We are near resistance, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the China thing plays out. there's a lot of factors at play macroeconomically, but you know, we're not really broken at this stage of the game. I think we're just due a pause, and I think you saw that yesterday. We had a outside day yesterday on the Nasdaq, and I believe the S&P 500 too. But look where we closed. Look where we closed. We closed in the middle of the range, so there's definitely a support candle. We had a similar day like that over here. You can see the elevated volume, almost in line with yesterday, or actually over yesterday. Closed not nearly as nice as we did here, and the following day had a shakeout, and then look, the rally ensued after that. I'm not saying we're going to ensue right now. I'm just saying this day shouldn't be, you know, feared. We've had a couple of these days. We've had a big sell day here on elevated volume. It was a one-day event, and then we go on. Then we have another one-day event. We have a shakeout event, then a continuation. We have a little bit of a sell-off. We're going to get these gyrations, right? We're not going to have little micro green days. We're going to have small green days, large down days, small green days, large down days. So if you look at the cycle too, there's been many green days. Two, you know, it's been like, was that 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and we'll see what happens today. So we're not out of trend. We don't have lots of red days. We don't have lower closes. We're fine. Until the market proves otherwise, we're fine. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys. I'll get out of here today. I'll see you guys tomorrow and later in the Crypto Power Hour. All right, guys.